Hi everyone, welcome to another LeadSquared webinar. I am your host Shibani. You may have received emails from me in the past or joined a webinar in the past. If you have, a very warm welcome to you. Welcome back. For those of you who joined us yesterday, you listened to some of the sales tips that we had for you, tips about 2021, and we of course talked about automation there. So this is a bigger session on automation, everything that you can do with it. Our brand partner Nolarity is also with us, so it's a co-branded session with Nolarity, and we have speakers from Nolarity and LeadSquared. So we have two experts here with a lot of experience in the automation sector, experiences in terms of sales, and of course they have seen the industry change over the years of their work experience. So can I have Anil and Dhirendra share some lines about themselves? So Dhirendra, he is from Nolarity. Dhirendra, why don't you go first? Please share a few lines about yourself, your experience, and yeah, where are you joining us from today?
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Shibani, for the warm welcome, and very warm welcome to everybody who has joined the session today. So myself, I am Dhirendra Mohan, and I'm currently heading the product management with Nolarity Communications, and I have over 13 years of experience, starting from the core software engineering to the overall product management. So I worked with various companies like Adobe and McKinsey, BCG, and then Nolarity have also spent some time with Hindustan Times. So overall, it's been an exciting journey, building products for 1 million users to billion users. And today, when we are handling almost 1 billion calls, almost 10 to 15 million calls a day. So it's going to be exciting session today, I would say. Yeah, over to you, Anil.
Thank you so much, Dhirendra, and thank you so much, Shivani. Hi, everyone. This is Anil from LeadSquared. I head the business for North India with LeadSquared, and I have more than a decade of experience selling SaaS product, taking new products in the market. And 3 years with IBM, it was largely selling physical servers, which we call cloud today. So that's all from my side. I think we can move
Sure.
the
So
presentation.
just before you move ahead, quick reminder to everyone who's joined. So if you have any trouble listening in, or you may not be able to see the presentation, just ping us on chat and I'll help you out. Also, keep your questions coming. We have a panel here to help you with the questions as well, and our experts here, Anil and Dhirendra, will address it. So do keep them coming, and we will take them up towards the end of the session. All right. So back to you, Dhirendra. Anil, I will
Super,
also disappear for a bit. All right.
superb. So I think if everything is all set, we have a good number of attendees right now. So let me set the agenda, which is the first thing first. So we'll be talking about how the organizations have switched to cloud in 2020, and we all know the kind of situation we have seen in last 1 year. It's been unprecedented situation for every business, and many of the businesses have actually failed, and but in doing this all of a transition just to adapt to this new kind of new normal, we have also seen that people are immediately switching to cloud. So people who have been using the on-premise setups or any kind of on-premise setup, they have actually moved on to the remote workforce. So that we'll be covering in today's session. We'll also talk about a lot of automated process, some of our real life examples, some of the use cases we'll be talking about as part of our overall discussion. And last but not the least, we'll be also talking about some of the new age and the disruptive technologies which many of the companies are using today. And we'll also talk about some of the benefits, how the workflows are evolving over the period of time, and how things are going to be in 2021. So it's like moving from 2020, very challenging times so far, but in 2021, I'm sure things are going to be much more rocking. And by the end of this agenda, you'll have definitely a lot of takeaways, which we'll talk about at the end of the overall session. Yeah, we can move on.
Thank you so much, Dhirendra. I think just to add to this agenda, I would say this was basically an era of digitization. Why? Because the adoption of technology in the year 2020 was the highest. So let's look at the challenges quickly, which were faced by businesses in this particular year. Now, let's just think for a moment about a business which is running conventionally. Now, let's say talk about insurance or education. Now, these organizations, these industries were basically not at all prepared for this paradigm shift in technology. Now, just imagine a situation for a college or a university, and think of from a company or a technology company standpoint. Now, imagine a situation wherein we have a teacher, right, and they have accustomed to teaching on a blackboard. Now, how difficult it is for us to migrate them to an online whiteboard. Now, that is what I think we will be talking about. Now, the biggest challenge was also this is a large workforce that we are talking about. Since it was impacted, the impact was global. How to train this workforce was another biggest issue. So, I think we'll be discussing these. And since this workforce moved from an office to a home, a work from home scenario, uh, how the balance came into order was also a major challenge, because it is a personal space, it's a personal life ongoing, and at the same place you are running professional life now. So these are major challenges during 2020. Over to you, Dhirendra.
Yeah, so if I talk about even the customer situation, so for many of the businesses in 2020, so what has typically happened is, so most of the businesses were mostly onto the offline sales. People were not even investing onto the online sales. What we typically saw is we have typically seen a constant evolving nature of our customers. So they are changing preferences. Basically, customers are changing preferences over a single day or over, I would say, over a week span of time. So customers' preferences are also changing. They have also put contact centers and other platforms uh, put forward for them, right? And what we have seen is the overall challenges has been unprepared. So many of these organizations were not even prepared just to understand how to actually take care of their customers and offer them a seamless customer experience. If I talk about the technology, the major challenges have been that organizations not using any cloud-based technology. They were always relying on the on-premise setups. They were not ready with how to use the advanced technologies, which really slowed down the decision-making process for and the overall productivity. But once the organizations moved from the typical or the conventional setups to the cloud-based setups, and they started using technologies, things changed a lot. Yeah.
Now, also imagine a situation in this era wherein for people like us, for people who are operating and who are doing sales, uh, it was difficult for us to kind of engage with the customer and have a physical meeting. Now, this basically gave birth to sales, which we call it sales 3.0, which is immediate switch to cloud and meeting customers virtually. So the shift to cloud, I think, also had its own products. So students, let's say when we talk about students, or let's say customers referring to a bank, people can't go to a college and fill a form physically. So this gave birth to customer portals. And we have been seeing a 30% larger adoption of customer portals during these times, be it education, be it BFSI. The whole document collection of a loan disbursement is now 25% faster. Now, initially, let's say we were applying for a loan, let's say it was taking 15 days or 20 days. Now, the entire cycle, because of digital document collection, the entire TAT has been reduced to 25%. And these are stats which have been given by few of our customers. Video KYC, if we talk about, government of India, I think for the first time, initiated such a big measure so quickly, and this came very handy. And I think, considering LeadSquared, we were one of the few companies in India uh, back then who were offering such complex solutions. As I think Dhirendra mentioned, since this was an era of challenges and people were kind of accustomed to use on-prem solution, they were not ready for a cloud. So they were initially everybody tried to access through a VPN server, VPN access to catch the servers which were hosted in the office premises. But then it had a lot of hiccups. But cloud calling saved everybody from this unrest. And when we talk about overall communication perspective, I think it was a major hike for WhatsApp adoption. Now, let me quote some figures here. So, 292 loans by 138 people were sanctioned within a week. And this was all because of WhatsApp communication. These are small ticket loan, let's say 6,000, 7,000. But see how communication transformed everything. Yes, Shivani.
So I would like to add here, Anil. So just a typical example. So what I had seen is, so there was an era when the KYC used to happen by visiting some of these offices or even the banks. And once
Absolutely.
this COVID situation happened, none of the customers wanted to visit these branches. What happened is typically these BFSI organizations, their business started to drop off. And now with evolving technologies like video KYC, where I was also experiencing one of the banks, I think today or yesterday, this news came in where ICICI has opened their platform to be an open platform which can be used by many other banks. So that's the kind of evolution that is happening. So people are opening up their platforms. The video KYC is happening. Everything is getting recorded. You can show your simple PAN card or even the Aadhaar card over the webcam, and with the technology, you can actually extract that very important details over there, right? I remember my personal experience once I had to do the KYC for a bank, the re-KYC for a bank. And I just took one or two documents, and after waiting for 1 hour, when my number came, and that person told me that, okay, no, this document is not right. You have to bring in the another document. So that was the kind
Oh,
of trouble. With video
okay.
KYC coming in, things have changed a lot. I mean, I have personally done a lot of sessions with some of the customers trying to understand what their use cases are. With cloud calling, these communication tools, things have pretty much involved. Yeah.
So, COVID has also given a tailwind to world-class platforms like LeadSquared to enable workforce automation, which is operating remotely. Now, let's say we recently onboarded Dhirendra, a large insurance aggregators. Now, when we
Okay.
started the discussion initially back then in the month of May, June, there were a lot of challenges. Now, let's look at a few of them very quickly. So, let's think about these industries when we talk about insurance. These are highly regulated by IRDI and other regulators. Now, the compliances are stringent, so the penalties are equally heavy. Now, imagine a workforce which is operating remotely for such clients. Now, how do we ensure that data privacy and ethical conduct of business is maintained by each of the employees? We did that for them. We did number masking. We put permission templates to put checks and balances. Now, at the same time, by putting these checks and balances, we also have to drive productivity from each of the employee. How do we ensure productivity, and how do we ensure that each of my customer who is reaching out to me, uh, my responses are to them are in a very timely manner. Now, what we basically did is we kind of automated the entire journey of managing this workforce remotely. We initially started with, let's say, we did a pilot with 20, 30 people. And the way things happened, now we are running, let's say, 4, 500, we are managing 4, 500 people contact center for them. Uh, these are few challenges, and this is how we managed the entire flow for them. And the management was pretty happy because you have automated schedule reports. Now, imagine a CEO or a CTO will not log into a system to check how many people are performing. And these people are based out of smaller cities, and they are operating out of a mobile phone where the Elite Squad application is hosted. So we manage these challenges. We through workflow automations, we manage the entire remote workforce for them, and at the same time, we empowered the top leadership with reports wherein they can see daily, weekly, monthly, or 6 monthly productivity of and what is happening on the ground actually.
And if I talk about some of the high quality interaction that are supposed to happen in 2021, but I'm sure none of you will say that, okay, in 2020, we have learned a lot. We have seen a lot of learnings. And what is going to happen in future is, which is not very far off. I'm talking about 2021. We are already in December. From next month onwards, typically we'll be seeing a lot of companies will be focusing on CRMs and the telephony integration, because telephony is something where you can actually have a lot of people coming in as a customer to you, and typically they can actually interact with the organization and get their queries resolved. So it all brings business. So telephony is kind of one channel I'm talking about. Then there are multiple channels where we'll see a lot of integrations that will keep on coming. But let me focus on the CRM and telephony integration. Now, what is going to happen is, with these kind of integration, CRM helps you track all the calls and everything at a single place. You can see all your customers' emails at a single place. So that term, which is very much prevalent in the industry, is omni-channel communication. So with omni-channel means various channels by which the customers are reaching out to you. With the telephony integration, you can have everything recorded at a single place, and all the recordings are pretty much there on the cloud, and you can ensure that uh, your company agents are following the company guidelines. Every company has its own guidelines. They have a way of greeting the customers, welcome to XYZ, welcome to Nolarity, and all of these things. So all of those are very common to all the companies across. With cloud, with telephony integration, with the CRMs, with omni-channel communication, all of these things are pretty much possible. You can actually share your calls. You can see the email scripts of what exactly has happened over the communication. And being a supervisor within any business, you can actually set the highest standards for your agents. Well, this was typically not possible when people were using the conventional ways of tracking the customer communication using the manual sheets, the Excel sheets. And I'm not sure if many of you would be aware, but it's my one of the real life examples where I've seen one of the largest banks within India. So they were actually doing a lot of communication or tracking of a lot of data over these simple Excel sheets. I mean, the lead sharing and everything was happening with the Excel sheet. So even I was surprised to see such a kind of things. But with their immediate move to these CRMs and telephonies, we have seen such a high productivity of the organization. And pretty much with that high productivity, they have actually migrated all of their workforce onto the cloud. Yeah. And if I talk about how we can make the remote working the more efficient, so typically what we have seen is people are taking the attendance management. I remember the case when a lot of businesses have been using these biometrics, and having the employee within the office has been mandatory, which I have seen to be pretty much challenging where in the COVID time, right? You cannot have your employees within place, lockdown is in place, but you want your business to happen. And typically with automated systems, you can actually do your attendance management. I mean, systems which can track your face with your laptop. They can these systems can also recognize your voice, and with those kind of recognition, you can actually do the attendance from any place across the world. So your employees are pretty much remote. They can work from far off places. They can work from any of their villages, any of their remote places. And with that attendance management, everything is happening in real time. Supervisors knows that, okay, exactly at 9:05, how many people have actually logged into the systems, how many people are there, how many people are actually doing the calling. So you can manage all the attendance or probably all of your remote working employees. And with the internal broadcasting systems, you can actually use technologies like you might have already used Slack, is one of the very good example, Microsoft Teams. So these are some of the very good examples where you can actually do the internal broadcast. You can use the telephony, where you can just do a quick call in the morning just to have a internal broadcast of any of the very important message. You can use OBD. You can actually record your message, and you can do the OBD to all the employees that, okay, today is this situation, or today is the town hall of the CEO of the company. So you guys should be present at any point of time. So I'm talking about technologies over here. So even to manage these remote technologies, many of the companies are already using it, but in 2021 we'll see a lot of businesses switching on to such kind of technologies in place. So Anil, what do you think about some of these use cases?
I think you very well pointed out on attendance management, internal broadcast. Now, let's just think of a system wherein you define in the system what is the ideal TAT to initiate a customer conversation, to acknowledge an opportunity, and also a system wherein you define the SLA, escalation matrix, and all the TATs are fulfilled by the system itself. Now, let's make it a system driven approach by deploying workflow automations to put the right checks and balances. Now, this all obviously, when the right checks and balances are put in place, then it certainly drives productivity. And to quote few examples, I would also like to name a few customers like Zoomcar, Docon, Lifestyle, Max Life Insurance. They improved productivity by automating these processes and eliminating a lot of redundant work, and ensuring that their sales team basically focuses on the core KPIs instead of anything else. So this is a major shift. Now, if we look at how this has been achieved, we can move to further slides wherein we'll talk about them in detail. So the overall implementation process is what we will be discussing in this particular slide. Now, why we need automation are the points that we have mentioned here. So zero lead leakages. We have seen marketing spending a lot of money in generating these leads, and LeadSquared has APIs to capture leads from all online channels. So forget about social media like Facebook, Google. We even go to third-party websites to capture leads. Let's say Siksha, Magic Bricks, so on and so forth. The system should be smart enough to check who's available, who's online, who's checked in, so that these leads can be automatically assigned to people who can take real-time action. Similarly, when you have captured all this information, obviously there is has to be some communication, some engagement has to be there. Now, since marketing has already captured the persona of the prospects, businesses can basically define, they can categorize basis behavior, interest, or let's say transaction. That how am I going to promptly reply to all these leads with relevant content through the right channel? So, and at the same time, Dhirendra, what is essential for any business or any organization is right work projection, right target audience are the key growth drivers for all businesses. So real time of
Definitely.
distribution of leads, SLA, managing of SLA, that. And let me ask everybody a single question. So when you get, let's say, 1,000 leads, how do you prioritize them is also a question. So you can prioritize them by putting up a score which can be basis your business requirements. So let's say you captured 50 or 1,000 leads, wherein there are 100 leads, wherein let's say the quality of score of the lead is 100. You want to prioritize those leads. You want to call them first because then there is a high possibility of closure. And at the same time, you can also assign these to people who are basically high performing in your organization to kind of regiment sales. And I think Dhirendra, you should throw some more light on regimenting sales. Uh,
Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely. I think thanks, Anil. So I think people, you have seen the overall workflow over here. So we started with the overall leakages. We are not even having any kind of leakages. We have all the targeted content. You can do the overall response time is reduced. You have all the prioritized leads. Now, once you have got the leads, the immediate step for any of the organization within the industry is that you have to do an organized sales. Because without organized sales, without regimented sales, what typically has happened is you actually end up losing your customers. And with these automated systems within place, with having these CRMs, with the lead management system pretty much in place, there are products like Tentacle and all, which can help you manage some of these leads. You can actually do the spot. You can actually spot the sales opportunities. You can actually see which of the leads are very important for us. We should target only these customers. Some of these customers are not even interested. Let's not nudge them in the daytime. We'll talk to them, say, tomorrow. Today they doesn't seem to be happy. We can actually put the alerts in place. So say today I got a call from any of these companies like Policy Bazaar. What they typically do is they call you as soon as you visit some of their pages, and once you visit their page, and in case you don't have time, so they typically reschedule your call to another time. So that's what happens typically in case of automation. And you would have also noticed that on exact given day and at the given time of that particular day, you actually receive that call. So suppose you said, okay, just give me a call on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. I'm sure that 99% of the times you would have received that call by 3:35. And that all is happening because automation is pretty much in place. You have the automated task and alerts. Nobody has to manage them manually. And you have pretty much systems in place. Supervisor can anytime see what is happening with our business, how many leads are getting converted, how many tasks are there are for the follow-up, or they are overdue right now. And typically with all of these automated systems, you can actually increase the overall business. And with these automated system, once you start seeing the value within the system, people start to migrate to pretty much the cloud telephony systems or the cloud-based businesses, or the systems which are very deeply integrated with CRMs like LeadSquared. And if I go further, so suppose you actually published a campaign. You also published a number that, okay, if you're interested in opportunities like, say, you're interested in one of our products, say loan product or any other product, if you want to show an interest, you can just give a missed calls. Or the customer wanted to talk to one of the support agents or sales agents of, say, any XYZ company, say even say Nolarity or say Airtel. And in some of the cases, what typically happens is you end up not talking to the agents because of the wait time was very high. With the automated system, with the automation, what typically has happened, and what I'll tell you, one of the other use case, once I'm done with this case, all these missed calls can be reassigned to the agents, and these agents can talk to some of these customers at a later point of time. So it's simply like, with automation in place, at the end of the day, you'll end up capturing all the leads, all the customers. You'll be able to call all of these customers, and with automation in place, you can actually call within next 5 minutes also, where the customer was really interested. So all of those are opportunities which were earlier not possible. You can actually do it via automation, via the complete workflow understanding, and you can do the real-time sales tracking. How many calls are getting converted? You can set the disposition saying that, okay, this customer is interested. Nudge this customer, say tomorrow or day after. And within the system, you can have your sales metrics. You can have the leader dashboard, where you can see that, okay, out of these 100 sales people, you have these 5 team members who are performing good. And after seeing those 5 team members, the other team members get motivated. And that's what happens when you have a competition within the system. You have a real-time sales tracking. Supervisor can actually see. So what typically is happening is, at the end of the day, you end up not losing even a single customer for yourself. And in real time, you are not even missing any of the opportunity. You have a complete control of the system, and your overall sales or overall business skyrockets with such kind of automated systems in place. Yeah.
Absolutely, Dhirendra. So, I think with this slide, what all you can achieve with automation, I would like to talk about a story which will, I think, interest all of you. So, I was chasing a CTO from a large automobile company, and almost, let's say, the chase was around 3 4 months. Now one fine day I get an email in my and this is the real story. One fine day I get an email in my inbox stating that this gentleman, this CTO, has visited one of our landing pages, and he has kind of shown interest in. These are the pages basically he has visited, and this is the duration of the time that he has spent on each of these pages. Now, I monitored what happened, and I knew that this is a large opportunity for me. And I noticed this ongoing transaction of visiting the site, responding to our campaigns which have been sent by the marketing. One fine day, I called him after 3 days, and I spoke to him and I asked him, "Is there a specific query that I can help you with? Because we see that you're visiting our site, you're visiting the landing pages, you're opening emails sent by our marketing." And he himself was very surprised. He was in fact flabbergasted by the thought that the tool has such capabilities wherein it can tell that people are visiting and this is what they are looking for. And this is how we advance the conversation. Now today we stand at a position wherein we are talking about closing that deal. So I think what we basically do with automation is we monitor, we process an action, we monitor the activities of a lead, we process that information, and we take relevant action.
Yep,
Now,
very valid, Anil. And let me add one more example here. So you might have seen some of these e-commerce companies. What typically happens is you go and browse, you are actually browsing some product, and suddenly you get into some other work, and you just end up not doing any of the business on that website. So it's like you actually leave the cart as it is. You don't even add the carts into the product. The point was that you did not have enough time, and the very next moment, what even I have experienced myself is I was looking for a certain product, and after say half an hour, I actually checked my email and I saw that okay, from one of these e-commerce companies I get to see that okay, we have similar products based on your preference. And I have seen about 70-75% of the times I have clicked on one of these products and I've actually gone into buying these products. So that's also one of the use case which I think Anil was talking about. You can actually convert your these offline customers into an actual sales by using the automation, by doing the targeted sales, by targeting these customers, offering them the value, and bringing those customers back onto your platform. Yeah.
I, I completely agree, Dhirendra. And just to kind of give everybody how an automation typically looks like, what Dhirendra just talked about. So this is how an automation ideally looks like. It's a simple drag and drop feature on our platform wherein you don't have to write a code. So let's talk about this one. So what is happening is I have a lead, and I have taken an example of an edtech. There is a course registration that I see. So that is an activity on this particular lead. That there is an activity wherein it says there is a course registration which has happened. Now I don't want to bother the customer now. He has just did a registration. He just did a registration for the course. I give a command to the system that let's wait for an hour. And if the customer revisits the site, let's send him an email. And let's say when he opens that email, wait for another hour and send him a mail wherein we say that there is 10% discount on the data science course that you were basically looking on my website. And further, you can assign it to a contact center, or you can do further communication on this particular lead. So this is a very simple workflow automation. We can all can see that we can automate the entire journey of interest, and we are converting it, and we are closing a sale. So we are basically monitoring what is happening. We are processing that information, and we are taking relevant action on this particular lead. Now, this is another automation that I've created. It's a very simple automation. This majorly correlates to work from home kind of a scenario. Now, for example, let's say I have 5 people in my team, or let's say you're a manager, you have 15, 20 people who are reporting to you. You have created all the tasks in the system, or let's say there is a lead assigned to them. You created a task for the lead in the system, and you say that we give them almost a day. We wait for a day to check whether there is an activity happening uh, on that particular lead or not. So if the task is not closed within a day, we are notifying the user, we are telling the user again that the task has not been completed, and we wait for another day. And let's say if the task is still not completed, we are notifying the manager that there's a pending task from past 2 days for this particular user. Now we all can see the power of automation, right? It is automating the entire process. It is basically enabling the new age managers to kind of have right tat right escalation matrix in place, considering the work from home scenarios. Also, we have seen a lot of people generally complain that we are a CTO, we are a CIO, or we are a manager. We have thousand other activities to do. We can't log in into a CRM and check what all reports are there. So we also have an option wherein you can automatically auto schedule all the reports, wherein you can check what is your team's performance, what is the revenue that they are driving, what sales they are closing. There are multiple reports that you can auto schedule, and these can be scheduled, as I mentioned, weekly, monthly, fortnightly, and this gives you a gist of overall the operation running for the day, and we can progress. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, and thanks, Anil. Just to add over there, so people, so it's not specific to one of the channels. You can actually club all the channels at a single place, and it's like you have your customers who can reach out to via telephony, they can reach out to via chat, they can reach out to via video communication or emails. All of that can come in via omni-channel communication. And what is typically is happening is this is the overall drag and drop workflow which Anil is talking about. Typically, many of the these industry leading CRMs, one of which is LeadSquared, they have these kind of capabilities within the system, and you can actually create these kind of workflows in place. Yeah. So let me talk about further on to the next slide, which actually talks about some of the business technologies which are being used by some of the companies in the industries, and when they are migrated to cloud. So I'll talk about some of the technologies which you might have already heard or you might have not heard. So I assume that, okay, some of you have already heard about these, which is the artificial intelligence enabled automated speech recognition or the text to speech. So these are some of the technologies that are pretty much being used on the cloud. And even we are one of the company which recently partnered with Google to actually offer speech analytics products, which are being used by many of the industry leaders across the world right now. And with the multi-level automated IVRs, some of the very big organization, I would say that 99% of the businesses today are actually using the multi-level automated IVRs to actually to make their business flows automated. They can take care of many of the queries over the automated IVRs itself. Let's take a simple examples of Airtel, where if you just dial to the Airtel number, the customer support number, you actually end up having some certain options, and once you click over it, you get to see the different set of questions. So all of that is typically happening using the multi-level automated IVRs. The virtual numbers and the contact center, that is very, I mean, all the numbers that you see on the marketing campaigns, they are the virtual numbers where you don't have to buy a physical SIM. There are companies like Nolarity or some of the world-class companies who can offer you the virtual numbers, and they are a complete cloud-based contact center. And what is the beauty of cloud-based contact center is you don't have to end up, you don't have to actually look at the overall on-premise setups. You don't have to invest on the capex. You just have to focus on the operating expenses. Whatever you use, you have to just pay as you go, on the go, how many calls you're making. You don't have to worry about what is happening with the initial setup, because traditionally this used to be a challenge. So today, even a smallest company, even a 2 people company can have their virtual number. They can set up their contact center. They can also act themselves as an agent to the very biggest of the companies where there are thousands of agents. The companies like, I would say organizations like State Bank of India or any the banking organization, they are typically using the cloud telephony contact center to reach out to their customers. So you might have heard about some of the political campaigns or the State Bank of India or any of these businesses where you actually, once you pick up the call, you get to hear a certain kind of message that this is a call from State Bank of India. You have your ATM has been used at so and so place. Please see if this was a genuine communication, or if it was a valid transaction that you did. If not, you can actually give a missed call to this number and you can block your card. So all of these things are actually happening using the outbound dialers. The next use case, which is click to call and lead management. So click to call is a very industry leading term, which is pretty much used with many of the players in the industry. So click to call is a typical example of, say, your companies like Swiggy, where the companies have their agents who are just clicking on their mobile application of Swiggy, and they are connected with the customers, and they are not able to see the customer number. But what is actually happening is they can talk to these customers in real time, and there is a complete masking that is happening, and the leads are getting managed at the back end. So so imagine the possibilities that are there when you're using and automating your business via cloud. And we already talked about video KYC. So Anil, would you like to give some of your real life examples of some of these industries that we have listed?
Yeah, definitely. I think considering the paucity of time, I'll just touch upon real estate. I think that has been missing for some time. So we talked about banking, we talked about education. We've also shown automation on education. So when we say real estate, the operating method of a real estate organization by and large were conventional. Now, enabling and bringing multiple functions like marketing, sales contact centers, FOS teams, operations under one single umbrella of cloud was one of the biggest challenges. And they were using Google Sheets, as you mentioned, Dhirendra. Now, enabling them to use automation and bringing them to one platform was a challenge. However, when we started meeting customers and we kind of started the engagement with them, uh, I would like to quote an example. We worked with Rohan Builders, and we just automated two teams of theirs. One is their sales, and the other one is marketing. And the results were phenomenal. Their sales, by adopting digitization and cloud automation, increased almost by 50%. That's a remarkable number to quote here. Uh, and then I would also like to talk on marketing. I think there are so many sectors. I think I'll just touch upon marketing. So as we all know that marketing is by and large it is all about communication. Now platforms like LeadSquared, they can automate the entire communication journey. So the gist of marketing fundamentally remains the same, which predominantly revolves around capturing data points from multiple sources, profiling, segmenting them basis the interest, behavior, transaction, and also sending them personalized content and to re-engage with them throughout their journey, and also to kind of analyze the impact. Uh, so, Brenda, anything else feel that we should add on this particular slide? I am happy to pass it
No,
to you.
I think Anil, you pretty much summed up everything. So tomorrow, if you are so I think this is for the overall audience. I mean, if tomorrow you're ordering any food from say, Swiggy or say any other companies, you would definitely see all of these things happening via the cloud telephony systems, and some of them are already using Nolarity systems or the LeadSquared integrated system. So let us talk about some of the use cases. I would say from some of the very common companies that you might be listening these days. So we have our customers, we have a joint customer, which is Byju's and Unacademy. So they are using the Nolarity systems, which are the telephony systems, and they are pretty much
Uh, Dhirendra, you are not
Yeah,
audible.
I think we've lost
I think
Narendra
we
there.
lost him. So no worries. I think I can take it forward from here on behalf of Dhirendra. So when we talk about edtech industry, I think we have automated the entire student journey, with sales to communication automation, and the entire time when they started as a lead, and then they opted for a course. So far we have been able to automate the entire student journey, and then we are also kind of have moved forward with automating the other journeys which are operating in the backend. and which are very essential for any edtech to run, which is like a teacher or a mentor journey. So onboarding of teachers, or let's say onboarding of mentors, is easily done and easily achievable on LeadSquared platform. And when we say that we track and capture leads on this platform, I think we are talking about the omni channel. So we have already touched upon that. So you can capture leads from all social media channels, be it Facebook, Google, or any other channel, and you can automate multiple activities. So you can define when
Right.
a student needs to be contacted. Dhiren, I'm sure you're back. You can take it forward from here. Dhiren, are you there?
Yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. Please, I think
Yeah. Am
yeah,
I audible
I
right
pass,
now?
yeah, I pass this to you.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was talking about is that I'm so sorry. I think there was some connection issue, which is again sometime a challenge when you are having these kind of automated setups. So what I was talking about is with these companies like Byju's and Unacademy, we have typically seen as they have the virtual numbers where they are tracking and capturing all the leads on a single platform, which is the LeadSquared. What they're doing is they have created these automated workflows, which Anil just talked about. They are doing a real-time monitoring of what all calls are coming in. And what they're typically doing is once they capture all of these leads, they call these parents who were interested into some of the courses of these companies, and they actually call these parents, try to understand what their needs are, and based on that, they suggest them the suitable courses. And these companies are so structured and so deeply integrated with the automation that they are able to see such a scale, such a increase in their businesses on a day-to-day basis. They're doing real-time monitoring, and all of this is happening with a complete privacy. So it's not something like anything is happening over your landline phone or any other phone, but what is typically is happening is all the conversation is end to end encrypted. All the recordings which pretty much resides on the clouds, they are pretty much encrypted. And the beauty is once these calls are happening or these complete, these companies can do the speech analysis, and they can see how many people were interested, whether the agent pasted in the right format. So all of these are the typical use cases which Byju's and Unacademy is typically using. Over to you, Anil. Yeah.
Yes. So I was very keen to discuss the other slide after this on the BFSI industry, because we have seen a huge digitization of business process automation platforms adoption in BFSI industry. So, and which has also kind of helped us make multiple modules for BFSI industry. So talking about varied use cases started from banking. So for example, in banking, we have modules which can automate the entire journey of lending. Lending could be either your personal loan, home loans, credit card. And then at the same time, we also have customer portals where the entire customer journey is automated. So not only to this, I think the entire contact center and the field force are also automated during this process. And similarly, if we talk about insurance, right now, insurance opportunity management came so handy in this digitization era that let's say somebody bought, imagine a situation wherein somebody bought a term insurance from one of the insurers. Now, the system is capable enough to kind of touch upon the data points wherein it can also guide them. It can also tell them to have a cross-sell upsell opportunity there. So somebody bought a term insurance, a health insurance, or a motor insurance can also be sold uh, just by defining certain automation which will touch upon the data points which are there in the system. And imagine the kind of sales that these industries have achieved during the COVID time just by automating the entire flows. And when we talk about real-time tracking and monitoring, since these are tightly integrated with the IVR and the Google Maps, uh, all the actions which have been taken by any sales representative or any other function of which is basically performing on LeadSquared, all the activities are getting posted on real time. At times, customer keep coming to us and they said, "What if, let's say, your applications don't work when there is no connectivity?" And then we also assisted them, telling that these are kind of capable applications wherein you post your activities even in offline mode, and then once they basically sync with the internet, all the activities get posted on the cloud. Now, let's say when we are saying on when we are talking on multilingual and multi-level IVR, I believe Dhirendra, you will be the right person to kind of give the audience the right information on these fronts.
Sure, Anil. So let me take this up. So I think with the multilingual and multi-level IVRs, what typically happens is that okay, suppose you have a virtual number, as you can see, a business number which is published over here, and what you might have seen today is that okay, if you're calling from say Tamil Nadu or say any remote any other place within India. So there are always the agents which are the right set of people who can talk to you in the regional languages. Or I have personally seen that okay, if I move from say right now I'm sitting in Delhi, and if I go to say Punjab or say Bihar, what you end up listening is some of the automated messages which are into those regional languages. So all of that is possible because of these multilingual IVRs, which are actually set up based on the region from where you are calling these companies, or probably from even the number which is from a specific region. These multilingual IVRs are very helpful. Multi-level is something that I already covered. If I talk about the automated reminder calls, so it's again, if you set a follow-up reminder, you can always end up having a very tighter integration that okay, at exactly at 3 p.m. there is an automated call which is a click to call, which is C2C mentioned here. The call is initiated as soon as the agent picks up the call, the next call goes to the customer and they can have the conversation. And the beauty is, before the communication is supposed to happen with the customer, agent can actually see the customer details, and he can pretty much greet the customer with his name. And this click to call is pretty much automated as well as manual also. But there are automated outbound dialers which are prevalent in the industry, which is progressive dialer. There are preview dialers, there are predictive dialers, where you have a varied customer experience. I mean, if I talk about the preview dialers, they give you the best customer experience. If you talk about the progressive dialers, they balance the customer as well as the agent productivity. If you talk about the predictive dialers, it is aligned more towards the agent productivity. You can end up having the same agent doing say 200 calls a day, versus in say preview or say manual calling, where that the same agent was doing about 120 calls a day. So that's the kind of beauty which is typically being used by some of the BFSI industry customers, like Kotak and even the Poonawalla Finance in this case. Yeah. So let us move on, and let us briefly talk about, I think in the interest of time, I'll not go very deep into some of these topics, but I'll simply talk about the speech analytics use case. So what is typically is happening is, there is a customer who is calling the agent, or there is an agent who is calling the customer. All of this conversation is getting recorded on cloud. So what typically happens is, being a supervisor of the company, you can selectively listen to some of the recordings where the score was not good. Now these recordings are getting analyzed with algorithms like your Google speech analytics algorithm, which is deeply integrated with Nolarity's platform, where we can analyze the millions of call recordings in real time. We can give you the actual insights about what has happened over this call. If you had put some of the keywords saying that okay, today I had to do the campaign, how many customer called us back for that particular campaign of say your simple use case where you wanted to present an offer for say any pizza offer or any of the loan offer. How many customers actually talk back for those kind of offers? So you can do the keyword spotting. in real time you can do the complete analysis, and all of this happens in a very closed and encrypted environment. You can show the insights to the supervisors. They can see those insights. They can extract those contextual insights. So contextual insights are actually coming in via the automated systems. But what they can do is, by seeing these insight reports, they can take some strategic decisions that, okay, these are the campaigns which performed pretty nicely. These are the customers who are interested. We can track them back. We can call them back. And you can, with these kind of analytics, you can take respective actions, which is the third step mentioned over here. And you can also plan your future campaigns. So that's pretty much which is possible today with the speech analytics platform. These are world-class platforms, and you can actually talk to your customers. These are pretty much powered into English, or say any of the regional languages that exist within India. So we power some of the very common languages which are spoken within India. So if I talk about the video communication, so video communication is very common these days. I'll not touch base on what is happening with Nolarity's platform, but what is mentioned over here is related to that, but it is pretty common to any of the video communication platform that exist in the industry. So it's like with systems which Nolarity is offering today, they are deeply integrated with any of the CRMs like LeadSquared, and in future you should be able to integrate it with any of your application. And these video communication platform, what it is offering to our customers is, you'll have the SDKs available, you'll have the APIs available, using which you can create the meetings, you can schedule the meetings, and on a specific time you can just click on the link. Before even clicking the link, you can share those links to your customers via web or mobile or any channel of communication, and with a single click, your customer and your agent can actually join on a video call very instantly. Once the call is complete, there is a complete recording which is available. You have the speech analytics. You can do everything that was possible over a simple telephony channel. The same is pretty much possible now with the video communication platform. You have the complete transcript that is available. So think of a simple case like this meeting which is happening. Whatever we have spoken today, so tomorrow with the speech analytics platform, you can have a complete transcript of the meeting. You can have the complete meeting notes which are available to any of the customers or even the people within the company, and you don't have to take those notes manually. So that's the kind of refined futuristic experience that I'm talking about, which is pretty much available today, and everything is happening behind the firewall. The media is pretty much encrypted, end-to-end encrypted, and you have all the beauty of the real-time communication that exists now via the video communication platform that exists within the industry. And Nolarity as a company, we also offer some of these platforms. I think with this, pretty much uh, uh, so these are some of the customers that are using the services of Nolarity as well as LeadSquared. And I think now is the time, Anil. Should we start taking up the questions?
I think yes, this is the time. I think we should
Yeah.
move on to the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I will just bring in Sumit from the Nolarity team here to talk about the Nolarity offer very quickly, and then we can move to questions.
Sure. Thanks, Shabani. Firstly, obviously, thank you to the wonderful audience and speakers on the panel for getting a piece out of your business schedule to attend the session on a weekday. So at Nolarity, we are offering our audience specifically for this session an unlimited business calling solution, which can ensure a seamless and uninterrupted customer support. So obviously, everyone will be able to see the plans on the screen. It is well designed to suit any size of business, may it be startups, SMEs, or enterprises. So offer being limited, what we'll be doing is we'll be publishing a survey form post the webinar where you can fill in your interest and our teams will be getting back to you. So Shivani, I hope we can move to the Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Sumit. All right. So now I am going to take up some questions that have come in. So just hold on a sec. Right. So let's start with Rajendra's question. So Rajendra wants to know, how will automation help the healthcare sector? So anyone wants to take that up? Anil, Dhirendra?
I'll pick that queue up, Shivani. So hey, hi Rajendra.
Sure.
Healthcare. When we say, can we be more specific? So when we talk about healthcare, are we talking about a diagnostic lab, or are we talking about a hospital? I think I'll be able to give you an exact answer how automation will basically help you achieve more in this sector. Are we talking about a hospital, Shivani, or are we talking about a laboratory? Or do you?
Rajendra, if you could tell us, actually just get back to us with the follow-up. He has another question which he is asking. Okay, so Rajendra is saying it's a clinic. So how does
Okay.
automation help a clinic?
So, from a clinic perspective, it can automate a lot of customer communication. So, for example, let's say I would know that these are the number of people who have basically visited for XYZ reasons to my clinic. Now, somebody could be for a gynecology, or somebody could be for orthopedician, or a cardio or doctor for that matter. Now, I would know the system. I can basically tell the system through. I can basically define in the system that this is the next visit which has been scheduled, and automated communications can be sent to the customers wherein they would know that these are the dates when they need to revisit the clinic. First is that. Second is, let's say the clinic also engages in, or let's say, onboarding a lot of doctors. So you have a multi doctor clinic. You can also onboard a lot of doctors through our platform, wherein a lot of customer communication can happen. And then there are other journeys which can also be built around through automation. So let me give you another example for a hospital, how it works. We have been recently contacted with one of the large healthcare hospitals, wherein they had a biggest problem, wherein a lot of people are, a lot of revenue is moving out of the hospital. A lot of patients are taking the prescribed medicines and the tests which have been written by doctor, and they are doing it outside. Now, for them, what we have done is we have kind of automated the entire process, wherein by the time the patient is there in the vicinity, he gets in SMS that the medication, the prescribed bill, let's say the prescribed medicines are ready at the chemist. The test, let's say if a test is recommended by a doctor, through automation, what we are doing is we are kind of engaging with the lab within the hospital, and we are telling them that this particular patient shall be visiting to get these tests done. An automated call has been initiated the moment the patient comes out from the doctor's room. So I think multiple journeys can be automated. These are few examples I would
And
like to
just
cite.
just to add to yeah, and just to add to what Anil mentioned, so being a clinic person, I think you can also have your virtual numbers published, and you can even do the complete appointment of your patients over the phone numbers. The second thing is
Absolutely.
these days we are pretty much seeing the plethora of applications. You can also have your own application, pretty much like DocOn. Or any other application where you have the complete video communication platform pretty much deeply integrated with your applications. So we have a Nolarity platform which you can integrate with your application, and with a single click, you can actually talk to your patient on at the scheduled time. And I personally use some of these services for these online appointments with my family doctor, and that typically has been very helpful because the challenges has been that people don't want to come physically, and with this kind of fees, I have seen a lot of people opting for online appointments, and they are doing all of this communication via the video. So that's also some of the use case that I just spoke about. Yeah.
And
Hope that helps, Rajendra. Yeah.
just to add, I think Rajendra, I'll summarize it in one more liner. So, for example, let's say it's COVID, a lot of people are not reaching out. I think automation, a complete marketing cloud will be a rightly suited product for you, wherein you can engage with a lot of patients of yours, wherein you can reach them out through marketing channels, and you can gather all that information and you can process that information. So I think what I initially mentioned in the slides, you can monitor, you can process, and you can take relevant action. You can reach out to them, and you would, by the time the lead gets captured, let's say the patient gets captured, you would have a history that what exactly the patient is looking for, and accordingly, the communications will go and the appointments can be booked.
Yep.
All right.
So that,
We have more questions coming in, so just a heads up there. It might extend for another 10-15 minutes or so. I'm
mm,
moving on to the second question from Rajendra. He's saying, what are the top rated available omni-channel platforms in India?
So let me take this up. I think the top rated omni-channel platforms. So there are a lot of companies which are offering some of these top-rated platforms. If I talk about some of the bigger companies, you have Cisco, Avaya, some of these companies. Nolarity is also offering some of the multi-channel platforms. You have other companies which pretty much exist. I think a simple Google can give you some of the answers. But let me talk about some of the characteristics of these omni-channel platforms. These are going to help you get you connected to some of your customers via the multi channels that are pretty much available, right? And so I think that's pretty much it about here, because it's a plain thing where some of these leading platforms you can simply Google with the omni-channel word omni-channel platform, and some of the companies like even Nolarity or some of the competitors, they'll also stack up, and you can actually explore some of these companies. Anil, you want to add anything?
Yes, I think when we say omni-channel platforms, I think we are trying to engage, or let's say re-engage, either through social media, or let's say other online channels which are available. But end of the day, I think the motive remains the same. We would like to serve, I would say, since this is healthcare, we would like to serve more patients, Rajendra. I think the right blend would be that you do right targeted campaigns, and LeadSquared can help you capture all of it through all channels. So, be it online, offline, wherever you advertise, we'll be able to capture the patient information, and we will pass the right information to you. And this will help you take very informed decisions.
Right, right.
And
And I think
business.
yeah, and I think with CRMs in place, like LeadSquared and all, you can have multi channels which can be integrated with these CRMs, and you can capture all your content or at a single place. So it's not one answer to everything. So it's like even with the solutions from Nolarity and LeadSquared, you can have your omni-channel platform pretty much in place, and you can have everything in place, and you can capture all the leads or all the customers. You can serve them via the single platform, which could be a LeadSquared, which is deeply integrated with all of these channels, which is video or your telephony channels or even the chat platform. So those are pretty much available within the industry. Yeah.
Okay, I saw some questions on the benefits of automation, which is why I brought it back to the screen. So until we go to that question, I will take the other ones that have come up. So Huzefa says, are you guys going to provide us some training? How is it going to work? And they deal in real estate.
Okay. So Rika, I think what training is definitely something which is a basic element when somebody is onboarded as a customer to LeadSquared. Now, apart from training, what else we can do for you? We can assign a real estate consultant. So I think majority of, let's say, real estate is one large sector which LeadSquared is serving currently, and we are one of the prominent and a dominant player in the industry, I would say. So not only training, we can also assign you an expert who can do a lot of hand holding for you, wherein you are kind of engaging with the right set of customers. And you can also, through automation, you can also increase the revenues drastically. So we have, so I think, some major names like ATS or other brokers who are already working with us. So I also quoted an example of Rohan Builders, right? They increased 50% of their sales just by automating two channels, Rekha. One is sales and the other one is marketing. So training, yes, but apart from training, we'll also give you an expert from real estate who will basically help you who will help you onboard, get onboarded as to LeadSquared as a customer.
Right. And I think it's simply like you just reach out to our email IDs. So we'll have definitely somebody who can take up all your queries, and they can do one-on-one trainings also with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, I am moving to Piyush's question. He says, is there any solution where the company do not want to use the virtual number can still link up with the contact number with the lead?
With the
I think
what's
the question is not
So is
clear to
there
me.
any solution where the company does not want to use the virtual number? Okay, is there any
Mhm.
solution where company do not want to use the virtual number can still link up the contact number with the lead?
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
contact number is always linked to the lead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's something like so if you don't want to take any of our virtual numbers, you can use your existing number. What companies like Nolarity, what they offer you is we do an internal forwarding of those calls onto our virtual number. So for your customers, your number stays as the same, and the dialing happens pretty much in real time. So there are solutions which exist within the industry, using which you can actually do the automated calling to some of these customers. So it's like with your numbers, we just have to see how we can integrate it with the existing systems. But in some of the cases, yes, it's pretty much possible. The idea is that you need to have that ownership of those numbers, and it's just that how that can be deeply integrated is something that can be taken care of. Yeah.
Okay. Then Ashish, here's your question. He says, how will LeadSquared help for client management process and daily sales trackers for B2B markets?
Okay, I think that's a very good question, Ashish. So when we say B2B sales, I think we already have onboarded multiple clients in B2B, and as I also quoted an example of the CTO that I was chasing. So the platform can basically nurture all these customers for you. The platform can send the right communication, and anytime when, let's say, a lead responds to it, you kind of get automated information that fine, this is the time when we can touch upon these leads, and it can do complete sales management for you. So let's say if you want to track what the sales team is doing, and considering COVID, let's say it is a work from home scenario for Ashish, for your team. Now imagine a situation wherein we have given you a LeadSquared platform wherein you want to track sales completely. If they are going in field, we can do geotagging of all their meetings. If they're working from home, we can simply offer you a coupled solution with Nolarity, wherein all their calls are getting tracked through cloud calling, and all their sales activities are getting marked. All their call dispositions are getting selected automatically. They don't have to mark anything manually. So you have the right set of data, that which customers they have spoken to, which of them have not responded to the calls, which one of them have called back. All this is possible through LeadSquared.
Okay. Then Sanjay says, any implementation or solution for the wealth management industry?
So when we talk about wealth management, are we talking about stockbroking? I think yes, we have Elite Wealth Advisors. We have few more customers in this space, and I think this space is also kind of growing for us. And typically, we have recently onboarded global. I'm not able to global. I just forgot the name of the customer. Shivani. We have onboarded one of the largest stock brokers or wealth managers in India.
Yeah, I
Wealth
know what
managing
you're
company.
talking about, but it's not clicking. It's even I can't remember the full name.
So
It's
We
even
global.
recently
yeah, so even this Kotak Securities pretty much into the wealth management, and
Yeah,
Kotak
so I
Securities
recall
or
we have recently onboarded Globe Capital for your information.
Yeah,
And
okay,
yes,
great.
yes.
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
So
So
so I would say there are plenty of solutions. I think based on your requirement,
sorry, please go on.
yeah, so there we can actually customize the customer solutions, and pretty much all of the use cases that exist onto that particular industry, that those can be taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, then there's a next question from Rohan. He says, will automation create more jobs?
Automation would definitely create more jobs, Rohan. So automation will basically kind of enable people to do things on time, by time, and before time. So it is basically improving the productivity, which is resulting into revenue. And if revenues goes up, we all know that more jobs are created by organizations. So it's all interlinked. Automation will definitely
Right.
create jobs.
Yeah, so and my point is, if these businesses are growing, so definitely they would want to hire more people to actually grow their business exponentially, right? So these automated technologies are there to help these companies get more business. It's not to actually remove these manual workforce, it's to assist these people And just to get rid of these waste communication, I mean the kind of communication which is pretty much a junk, where there are you're actually dialing some of the customers which do not even exist, the numbers are not even valid. The point is the automation is going to help get rid of those junky communication, but in spite of that, your same agent can give you 200% productivity, and with that you can end up having more business, you can give more raise to your employees, you can end up hiring more number of people. So it's like it is going to generate more jobs. So I take it very positively because technology has helped us all into I mean get rid of such a situation. I mean COVID-19, not even a single person might have imagined such a scenario, but even that happened. Did we not even have the technology in place, we would have really struggled. But today, I think all of the companies, they are able to work with the remote workforce. So it's like not getting rid of people, but it's like once you get accustomed to these technologies, you can get the same output. You can double your output with time. And my practical experience has been same employee which has to travel to these places, to these I personally travel for about 2 hours one side to my office, and with technology, with work from home in place, I can save those 4 hours and can give additional 2 hours to my company, and I'm equally happy and contributing to my organization. So it's like when your employees are happy, when you're giving them more time, when you're offering them work from home, you have higher productivity. And with by saving the office space, you can actually save on your operating expenses. You can end up hiring more number of people. That's how I take it. Yeah.
All right. We have the last three questions that I'm going to take up, and I'll just read them all out, and you can take them in any order you want. One question is, how can we use automation for new lead generation? Then that's MK's questions. And Vinay says, how will a CRM benefit a clothing retail business? And the last one is on commercials from Sanjeev. He says, how is the commercial? Is it SaaS or subscription basis?
So I think I'll pick up. I'll take these questions, Shivani. They're largely for LeadSquared. So I'll go with the bottom flow. So yes, it is a SaaS based subscription model. It's a per month, per user kind of a model that we have. Since this is all hosted on cloud, this is all hosted on AWS servers. Second, when we talk about clothing business, I think we need to get on a discussion wherein we understand the business more deeply, wherein we can understand who are your customers, how are you them, how are you targeting them, and what all flows could be built around all your customer journeys, or let's say all your employee journeys, wherein you can gain a lot through automations. And Shivani, if you can read the first question.
Right. So the first one was, how do we use automation for new lead generation? And Vinay's was, how does the CRM benefit a clothing retail business?
So I think clothing retail business, whenever we have to get into a discussion wherein we understand the business more into detail. We have, I think, a lot of clients into retail wherein we help them automate the entire field force and help them automate few of the customer journeys. So these are primarily two that I can quote now. But once we get
Yeah.
into a discussion, the team can basically help you.
Yeah.
And then, and for lead
Yeah.
generation, yes, for lead generation,
Yeah,
I
Anil,
think
please go ahead.
we do not generate leads, but then we can capture these leads from all social channels, or let's say all online offline channels that you want to promote your brand. So even if it is a virtual number that you have given on a newspaper advertisement or a hoarding boarding billboard, all those people who are dialing those numbers, we can capture all that information, so we will ensure that there is no lead leakage. And even if you're doing Facebook campaigns, Google remarketing campaigns, or let's say there are third-party websites where you are associated in capturing leads, we can do that all through integration. We will not be able to generate, but we will be able to capture. We will be able to ensure that there is zero lead leakage.
So let me tell you how you can actually, uh, if not generate, but what you can do is you can publish those virtual numbers. Once you get, say, 100 people who are interested, you can do an outbound campaign which is automated. With these outbound campaigns, you can see the generate the interest among those interested people. You can talk about some of these offers, and whosoever is interested, you can have your agents talk to them personally and convert that business. That's one of the use case. If I talk about the second use case where you were talking how it can help the clothing brand and all of these companies, I would say that for all the businesses, CRM is irrespective of any industry. It's just that CRM helps you keep your customer data at a single place, right? And you can do n number of iterations over the customer data. You can have the entire journeys created onto that particular platform, onto the CRM platform. And the best thing is that data resides with you. You can get all different kind of insights onto that. You can retarget those customers. You can do all the marketing campaigns. You can do the calling campaigns. You can do the outbound calling. Okay, there are endless possibilities, to be frank. Having a CRM and having an integration with systems which Nolarity offers is like telephony or the video communication. There are n number of possibilities that you can actually attain. And as Anil said, so do reach out to our marketing team, and they'll actually assign the experts with you to understand your use cases, and probably they'll be able to understand your use cases and offer you the best solutions which are existing with both of our companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shivani, over
So
to you.
all right. I don't see any further questions, so I think we can conclude. We are well over time, but of course we had questions, so we had to take them up. Any final thoughts we conclude before we conclude? Anything that you'd like to add, or are we good to conclude now? Anil,
I think
Dhirendra.
Yeah, so
Mm,
I'll just say that, okay, so since the overall idea of this overall webinar was to help you understand what are the basics of some of these technologies and how some of these businesses are using the automation. And I hope we were able to touch some of your thoughts and whatever you already had, the kind of doubts you had in your mind. So that's all about it. And I hope we were able to get hold of whatever we wanted to convey, and we were able to convey it properly to you. But in any case, if you have any more questions, do reach out to these email IDs and we'll be happy to assist you on that. Over to you, Anil. Yeah.
absolutely. So I think I would like to thank Shibani and Nodality team for organizing this webinar, and I would also like to thank the audience for being there, and I think given that time in listening to us. So with this, I would like to say that I think businesses are definitely evolving, and automations would play a major role in the upcoming years. And these automations will also evolve, and it will evolve to a level wherein where Dhirendra was discussing on speech analytics, video analytics. Now imagine a situation wherein people are talking to customers and the notes are getting autofilled. It saves a lot of time and effort of people. So I am certain that 2021 people their adoption towards CRM, automation, and all these disruptive technologies will be much higher as compared to this year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think we discussed the same in the webinar yesterday about how this year has been a year of change, and I think we're going to expect more of that next year. So with that, we will conclude this session. Thank you so much, Dhirendra. Thank you so much, Anil, for giving us your time and putting this presentation together and basically speaking to us for this long. Thank you so much to the audience. You've been amazing. I know we are well over time, but you stuck with us and heard us through. So thank you so much. Just a quick concluding note before we end. If any of you are interested in knowing how Amity University Dubai has dealt with the year, how they were able to make their counselors more efficient despite COVID, join our webinar next Thursday at 3 p.m. the same time. So that's for all you education folks out there, and of course anyone else who's interested in joining. Again, thank you so much, Dhirendra. Thank you so much, Anil, for giving us your time and making this such a successful webinar. Thank you so much. And
Yeah,
to the
thank you
Nolarity
so much.
team, of course.
Yeah,
Thank
Sorry
you
thank
to
you
so much.
so much, Shivani, and the complete Nolarity team. I think Nidhi, Farah, Sumit, for being with us. And thank you so much, audience. I think you made it all possible with all your questions and listening to us for the entire duration of this 1.5 hours. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sumit, Nidhi, Farah, and again, Dhirendra, Anil, and to the audience. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anil. Yeah, bye bye.
Thank
You have
you.
yeah, have a good day. Yeah, have a good day. Bye bye.